Hello, Period 5 Religion. This is Lynette speaking. I am currently at Our Lady of Guadalupe Church in La Habra, California. I'm about to interview Father McCarthy. So, Father McCarthy, tell us a little bit about yourself before we start.
Well, that's reaching back many years, I will say, way back to the early 1940s. And as a youngster, I grew up in Ireland, went to school in one of the local public schools there. I had religious teachers for instructions and laymen and women as well. I went to public school, but the religious teachers staffed the public schools in there. Went on to high school. I boarded high school, and then I went on to college for a while. I was in college about 2 years or thereabouts, and it was then I decided that I might want to give some serious thought to maybe becoming a priest. And growing up in a very Catholic environment, where the church was a strong part of our lives, it was so easy to think of such as a possibility. And I always wanted to serve people, to be there to help people. And having completed high school and was in college, I began to give some serious thought to the possibility of becoming a priest. And I prayed about that, and I thought about it for quite some time. And at first I thought I would become a priest for the Diocese of Liverpool, which is in England, right next to Ireland. And the Bishop of Liverpool wanted me to wait on a couple of more years, complete more years of college, and then he would decide. And I wasn't accepting that directive on his part, and I somehow felt I need to look elsewhere. And it so happened that a priest, a relative of mine, was on vacation in Ireland during the summer months, and he was a priest of the Diocese of Los Angeles, and I spoke to him about the possibility of a visiting priest. So, my priest friend from Los Angeles made a long-distance phone call to the Cardinal of Los Angeles at the time, Cardinal McIntyre, indicating that I was interested in becoming a priest, and would the Cardinal accept me as a candidate, as a seminarian for the Archdiocese of Los Angeles, which he did. And so I continued. I went to a designated seminary in Ireland, was ordained a priest in June of 1964, and then shortly after that I flew out here to Los Angeles, and I was assigned to a parish in North Long Beach called St. Cyprian's Parish. It's there bordering on Lakewood, and I spent 6 years there serving the people of that parish, and then I was transferred to Santa Monica. And I was in Santa Monica for 6 more years, and while I was in Santa Monica, I met some wonderful people. A number of movie stars, for that matter. I had lunch one time with Jack Lemmon and with Walter Matthau. I don't know if they mean anything to you, if you've ever heard of them. And a number of others that I got to know. In fact, there was one in particular. His name was Carl O'Connor, and he was the lead actor in a series that was called All in the Family. And his name was Archie Bunker. And I knew Archie very well as Archie, and also as Carol O'Connor, as a member of the parish there. So then from Santa Monica I was moved on to Cyprus, St. Irenaeus. I was there for a few years, and then I was assigned to Our Lady of Guadalupe, La Habra, where I've been for the last some 30 years, ministering here and serving all of you here at this parish. Okay?
So, how old were you when you first decided you wanted to become a priest?
I was coming up on 22 years of age at the time, and 21, 22, and then I went into the seminary and then was ordained. And again, I had a lot of good friends who were priests, religious. One of my older sisters was a religious nun, a sister. She died a couple of years ago, Mary. She was my godmother. And I had an older brother, 2 older brothers who were priests also. So in a way, they kind of helped me to make a decision. And one of those brothers served in South Africa, down in an area called the Transvaal of South Africa. He worked as a priest down there for some 45 years. And he's retired now, living back in Ireland. And the other priest, the other brother, who was older than I, worked in the Philippines for about 14 to 15 years. And then he moved back to Ireland and continued missionary work back there. And he passed away a couple of years ago. So they were an influence also on me in helping me to make a decision. But I made it on my own, you know.
Was your family supportive in your decision to become a priest?
Yes, there was. Very much so. And it was interesting when I think back on that question that I do remember when I told my parents that I was interested in becoming a priest, going into the seminary and such. My father's words to me, well, he said, we will pray for you, we will encourage you, but if it doesn't work out, know that you're always welcome back home. And those were good words to hear, encouraging words, so that I didn't feel I was being cut off, and they didn't cut me off. They respected my decision in the matter and never expressed any objection of any sorts. They wanted me to find myself and to find what would be the vocation of life that I would be happiest with, and I am.
So what job would you have if you weren't a priest?
Good. I don't know for sure what I would have taken up. I might have gone into business, gone ahead and got a business degree, because my father's background was business. He had his own business, and in a rural town in Ireland that he employed about 35 people. He ran a general hardware merchant supply store, furniture, building materials and all of that. So I might have found a place in business that appealed to me. And the other possibility that would have probably opened up for me would have gone into the banking, you know, found a position with one of the national banks in Ireland. And in fact, an individual who was the general manager of one of the major banks in Ireland called the Munster and Leinster Bank. His name was Maurice Griffin. He did approach me at one time to say, would I be interested in going into the banking industry? And at the time, I had not made a decision in that matter, but who knows? But I finally somehow felt a stronger attraction and a draw to the religious life as a priest, to serve people. Yeah.
If someone was debating whether or not to join the religious orders, what would you tell them?
I would strongly suggest that they take time, pray about it, reflect on it, ask a lot of questions, and also to kind of vision themselves in that lifestyle, because it is not an easy lifestyle. It's a very challenging lifestyle, and not to go into it in any rushed fashion, but pray about it and think seriously, but at the same time allow the Spirit, God's Holy Spirit, to be their guide and their strength as they discern the possibility that this might be the vocation for them. It does have it's very rewarding in many ways, but it's also a very challenging lifestyle as well. And I feel it's not for the faint of heart. When you go in, you make that decision and you give it everything you have. And hopefully you'll persevere in it.
So the last question is, what is the best and worst part about religious life?
Well, the best part, I think, is getting to interact with many people at all phases, all aspects of their lives. You're there in the good days with them, the happy moments, the joyous moments such as weddings and baptisms and birthday celebrations and all that, and you feel drawn in. So those are pluses, but you're also part with families in the sad moments, be it occasions of death, tragedies, separations that touch their lives, and you and I, as a priest, find myself being drawn into those moments and sharing those sad moments, and I come away from many of them, quite not so much discouraged, but feeling for the pain and the hurt and that they are going through. And that has occurred many times, be it for deaths, be it for an occasion of weddings. I meet a couple and I journey with them over several months as they prepare for their wedding, and have a wonderful, joyous day, and then some years later it just doesn't work out, and I'm brought back into the picture again, trying to help them to rebuild a relationship if possible. Sometimes it does work, sometimes no. So those would be some of the joyous moments and the sad moments of my ministry. But in all, it's only through the power of God's Spirit and the power of prayer that I can succeed, and above all, the goodness of people. I just enjoy being around people, and young people like yourselves, and those that are well into their years, and it's also a joy to spend time with those who are celebrating and living their golden years, and to listen to their stories and to listen to their journeys of faith and how the Lord has helped them be who they are today, and just be challenged by all of that. And so the priesthood, religious life, has its joys, but it also has its challenges, and as such one has to be open to all that, knowing of course that one never travels alone. There is always the presence of God's Holy Spirit picking one up and pushing one forward and challenging one. So I've been ordained now some 48 years or thereabouts, and I have enjoyed all of that. And as I say, I can look back on wonderful, wonderful times. I can look back on sad moments where, because of one tragedy or another, I found myself being very much involved with family, and of course with my own family, and they being so far away from me is another a little sadness at times that I can't be present with them in their joyous moments and their happy days, or in their sad days, that I can't be there to lend my prayerful support to them. But I pray from here, trust in the Lord. So that's about it, really.
Thank you.
I enjoy it, and if you have any other questions,
I think that's
so
it.
anyhow, both you girls.
High five for Vocations.